Good morning, Athens. I'm Riley Bigham.
And I'm Adrian Jones.
And this is ATV News. Here's Ethan Fowles with his exclusive ATV forecast.
Good morning, Athens Drive. I'm Ethan Fowles, your ADHS weatherman, here for you today on this terrific Tuesday. Our current temperature is about 56 degrees, and we're going to have a high of 66. We're going to be mostly within the 60s range today. Our high will be starting at 2 o'clock, and it's going to be continuing up until the 4 or 5 o'clock mark. It'll be partly cloudy weather for most of the day. Some southwestern wind is going to be coming in, and that's going to be keeping away some scattered showers and bringing in some more of that southern heat, which is why we've risen from a 50s range yesterday to a 60s range today. We'll have a slight low of 52 degrees as we enter into a very steady decrease in the evening. So it's going to be a very nice day to do some fun outdoor activities, enjoy this wonderful weather that our southwestern wind has thankfully provided for us. That's all for the weather today. Back to you, Riley.
Thanks, Ethan.
The Black and Brown Student Union will hold its next meeting Wednesday, December 18th. The meeting will take place during lunch in room 1808. All are welcome and encouraged to attend.
Seniors, if you haven't completed your FAFSA yet, please take some time to do so over the break. Contact our financial aid officer, Audrey Lee, at anlee@wcbss.net.
For today's segment of 5 questions, we're interviewing the chemistry teacher and the STEM coordinator, Ms. Doran.
So I always worked at summer camps and babysat and stuff when I was younger. So I liked working with kids and young people. And then I also had planned to go into nonprofit management of some kind. But then when I found out through a chemistry class in college that there was a program I could study science and then go teach science, it seemed to fit all of these passions of mine. So it worked out that I have been a teacher since. I'd probably want to work in nonprofit space somehow, so maybe doing volunteer coordinating or something like that. Sometimes. I think when I was younger, it was a lot harder for me because I just felt like I put a lot of higher stakes on everything at work, and now I feel like I've become more efficient and able to kind of balance things a little better as I've gotten older. Well, I hang out with my family. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and she's the best. So we, have lots of playtime and go to the parks and all that stuff. But I also like to read, and I actually sew and quilt and make baby quilts for a lot of my friends that have had babies recently also. It can definitely be challenging, especially when there are big personalities in the classroom. So I think the thing I try to do most is create some kind of shared experience and also promote students interacting with each other so that they can, bond with each other, and we can have some of the quieter folks, start to step out of their shell and just embrace it and enjoy it. I think that's part of what's fun about teaching is that you get to interact with a lot of different type of people.
Thanks, Ms. Doran.
When talking about sports, we usually hear about football, basketball, and soccer. Today, we're spotlighting a sport that we don't hear about very often. Sanae Smith introduces us to the Athens Drive wrestling team.
In this sport, there is a constant sense of hustle and tussle. The season's in, and the theme is heads up or head out. Although wrestling isn't a sport we hear very much about, it always seems to be passed down from one player to the next, as if it's generational.
It's always been something that my older brothers did. Started off with my dad, he was a boxer, and my older brothers came into wrestling, and so I came into it with them, and I just love it now.
My dad also did wrestling, so he kind of introduced it to me.
I guess I started because my brother was on the team, and it was kind of the sport. That was the only sport I really felt like I could do, so I just joined it.
With that generational influence, a lot can be learned, no matter what point you're at in that wrestling journey. Coach Piper says it helped him gain some important attributes when he was in school.
A lot of discipline, a lot of just understanding how to use my body, understanding who I was, understanding how hard I could fight, understanding how I could get through problems. All those kinds of things really played a part in wrestling in my life.
Problem solving and gaining an understanding is a common thing that comes with working in teams. When those skills are built, the ultimate goal is for them to be applied during matches and in real-world scenarios, molding players into respectable people, not only for others to see, but for themselves. It's really important to the coaches and team captains.
How to be young men and women, how to respond to adversity, how to develop kind of the creative ideas and problem-solving ways that you're all going to run into in your lives, and how to make sure that they are equipped to do that through the 4 years that I get a chance to coach them.
Making sure, I guess, setting a standard, trying to work as hard as I can and make sure people don't view me a certain way.
The perfect recipe for a wrestler and a team that have their head in the game. Wrestling seems to be the true embodiment of being locked in, like literally locked in place. But being locked in isn't always about being held in one place. It's a process. Every process eventually leads to progress. When it's all said and done on the mat, the reward of all a team's hard work, dedication, sweat, and team effort is success, the ultimate goal for every athletic team. For ATV News, I'm Sanae Smith.
The team hopes to make it to states this year. Good luck to all on the team.
Hi everyone, I'm AJ with Athens Sports. Last week in basketball, we had a quad on Tuesday against Cleveland. The varsity girls were the only ones to come through with the win. On Thursday, the boys hosted East Chapel Hill and won. The girls traveled to East Chapel Hill and won a big 68-32. On Tuesday, the varsity boys and both JV squads will travel to Wakefield. Wednesday, the wrestling team celebrates its seniors with a tri-meet against Leesville Road and Sanderson at home. Friday at 5, the indoor track team will compete at Dana Davis Holiday Invitational at JDL in Winston-Salem. Wrestling will compete at the Mark Adams Invitational. The women's varsity basketball will compete at the Cherokee Invitational. Good luck to all the teams this week. For ATV News, I'm AJ Ackles.
Thanks for watching ATV News.